Bulge started, there were 3,300 of us in the regiment, and 2 days later there were 485 of us left.
Yeah.
And I was one of the lucky ones.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing. The people today, every time that we lose somebody over there, which is bad, I hate to see that, but the media plays it up. And there were far more losses in World War II and in Vietnam than there are over there.
Yeah.
In Iraq.
Oh yeah.
But the media, they just love to blow this thing up and make a big deal of it.
What they should have done over there, what I concerned, was a big mistake. After they went in there and they won that thing over, they should have never turned these guys loose.
Persian Gulf, you mean?
Yeah. They should never turn them loose.
Yep.
At night they'd come out and fight, and in the daytime they'd sleep.
Bush Sr. made a mistake, I think.
Yeah,
right.
that was the big mistake when the first time we were over there in the Gulf War, that Bush didn't go all the way.
Yeah, we had to go and do it over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Sure, we had him licked.
Well, you know, we have like these advertising, you know, I'm Laverne Kulp. I approve of this message, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Wilmer, what do you got to say?
Well, of course, I didn't get into combat. We were in the rear echelon. I was in an ordnance regiment, of course, but the most exciting time or one of them was when we left the New York Harbor on the USS West Point. Of course, it was our biggest luxury liner converted into a troop ship. And of course, there were 10,000 men on there, besides 2,000 naval personnel. And of course, we went over out into the Atlantic, and of course, we were looking for an escort, but there was none there. And we went over all the way to Casablanca, zigzagged all the way over there, and without an escort. And of course, that was during the height of the submarine activity in the Atlantic. Of course, we made it, and only by the grace of God that we did. And of course, we landed at Casablanca, and then from there we went up to Oran, North Africa, and we were there for about a year and a half. And then, of course, we shipped over to Italy after that, and we were up in Leghorn, Italy for 8 months. And of course, like one night, the sirens went off, and I never heard such a bombardment of, well, it was all 90-millimeter anti-aircraft guns going off.
The long tones.
Boy, and I'll tell you, it really rocked the place over there. Of course, apparently they didn't drop any bombs. Either it was a false alarm or it scared them off. I don't know. But anyway, we didn't have any casualties or any problem with that. But that was those were two of the most exciting times that I went through.
Yeah. You know, you said you were in the 7th Fleet. That was the thing I was telling John about. We were want to go fight with the Jap battleships.
Got a
and
torque
we went down
ladder.
there. And what happened is the Jap battleships changed course and went up and attacked the 7th Fleet. They had the old battleships in there, the Mississippi and a few of the others. They had a big battle up there. So we lucked out. We didn't have a chance to fight them, but you see, that's the way things worked out for us.
When I went in, the 7th Fleet was looking for the Japanese fleet.
Yeah.
We couldn't find them.
Yeah.
I guess I'm glad we didn't. But
yeah.
But anyway, we got to Okinawa, and of course my captain was a glory hunter, and he wanted to go in there and get the praise for the thing. We started bombarding out 20 miles to soften up the beaches, and our the underwater demolition team went in and cleared the mines, and then we went in with our ship, and we got blown out of the water.
Yeah.
the planes tried to knock those 8-inch guns out of the air. They were on elevators. They come up out of the ground, fired their salvo, and they'd go back down. And our pilots tried to find them for over a week before they finally got them. But they got us first.
Yeah.
So I'm here to tell it.
Yeah. We had a few things like that happened out there in the Pacific. With Guam had one like that. They had a big ship, and she got hit the same way. With the Japs were up in the hills firing out on it. When we got there, we were okay. We anchored in Guam, and there was no problem because the Japs were all taken care of. Yeah. But,
well, when we went into the Philippines, and that captain was a different one that when we first went in there, and we were going in there at full speed, and which was around 30 knots.
right.
And here they were sampans. They were fishing boats, and we blew them out of the water. The captain won the glory for that, I guess.
Yeah. Were you in Samar?
Yeah. What?
Did you go to shore in Samar?
No, we didn't go. We didn't go off. We didn't get off board ship.
Okay.
We stayed right on.
Yeah. Yeah. We had Liberty on Samar.
Well, we went at Liberty and some of the islands out there.
Yeah.
It was hot,
Oh yeah.
and they said you're going to have a lot of free beer.
They did.
And the beer was hot, and these guys pushed out there to get this free beer. I don't like beer anyway, so I didn't take any. But
I sold mine. I sold it for $1 a can. Yeah.
Let's turn you into
The
the
soda
government.
was free.
they thought it was great,
The soda was.
giving all that hot beer out.
Yeah, really, really something.
That's the way with the cigarettes. You used to be able to buy them for $1 a carton
$1 a
on
carton,
board
yep.
ship going over. Now today they're $34 and $35 a carton.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it's an expensive
Didn't use them
habit.
anyway. But
Yeah, really something.
I bought them from the PX for $1 a carton, and I
Yeah.
sold them to the Italians for $10.
Oh, jeez.
Blackmail.
Yeah. Joe was in. You got in early. Where are you, sergeant?
Staff sergeant.
Huh?
Staff sergeant.
Staff sergeant. Okay. Yeah.
My most experience sticks behind my mind is this. The first time I went up on a line, we were up there for 5 days, and they called us back. Those were still living yet, forbid. And the second time I come up, they put us up on a line. The second time, I wasn't on a line no more than about 4 or 5 hours, and all of a sudden these here 88-meter shells start coming in, and as they come in, they got a whistling sound. You know they're coming in.
yes, yes.
They go like that. That's enough to scare you to death right there. When you
What were they?
all this other stuff.
Yeah,
88.
toms.
They call them. We always call them the whistling bird.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, when you hear them things coming in, boy, you just lay flat on the ground. Just ask the Lord to spare your life. Believe me, because they don't go burst right in the ground. They got their shells set anywhere from 3 feet up to 6 feet.
And
When
it's
it
shrapnel.
exploded,
Yep.
it's just like just like big showers coming down, shrapnel all over. And I got hit. I remember falling on the ground, and the last time, that was it. I don't know what happened to me. I woke up the next morning. Here I was in a field hospital back of the enemy lines. They were taking care of me. And I looked up, and here I seen this nurse standing there by me. And she says, just relax, take it easy. We got to give you some blood. You lost some blood. And I'll never forget that, believe me.
Yeah.
Just thank the Lord that He spared my life.
Amen.
Yeah.
Did you get hit at Anzio, Joe?
That's where I got hit.
Yeah.
Then we went into southern France. We were about 18 miles from outskirts of Florence.
Wasn't Marseille?
Yeah, Marseille, southern France. Then we went up the line here. We got about 10, 15 miles out of Paris. I got hit again in the wrist, and I had my wrist started swollen up all over here. They sent me back and put me in the hospital.
Yeah.
The next hospital boat was pulling out. I was on that coming home, and that's the day I started home that I remember when the bow started.
Oh, okay.
You know,
December the 16th, 44.
You know, today we hear a lot about these terrorists, these suicide bombers.
Yeah.
Well, we had the same thing. We had the Japanese kamikazes,
Kamikazes.
and they'd come in low to avoid radar to be picked up, and they'd fly in, and our guns were blazing away. We'd drop them right side of the ship. You know, boy, you take a deep breath after that happened. But they were all over the place, and they were looking for the fighting ships.
Yeah.
And we were, like we were in Okinawa, they were all merchant ships, and we were a destroyer, and we stood out like a sore thumb. And they finally got us.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were all over the place. In the early part of the war, there's a lot of them out there.
Right.
Kamikazes. You get closer and closer to Japan, there's no fighter planes come in or anything. We had pretty well anything you wanted to do.
But so you know, this terrorist, these giving their lives to kill people, it was really no different than what the Japanese were doing.
In fact, they did it the same way.
Yeah.
And we lost a lot of our boys because of that. They'd love to fly in and hit those aircraft carriers on the side.
Mm. Well, a lot of them died. Just go straight toward the carriers. I know we had them in the fleet, in the third fleet. Yeah, a lot of them did that.
You said something about your being staff sergeant. I don't think anybody had a record like I did. I went in as a sergeant from the National Guard, inducted, and I went up to staff sergeant, got busted down to private and come out of PFC. Paid $60 to do all that.
Yeah. Very dumb.
Yeah, you really run into something.
Yeah. Oh, of course. I was just a kid when I went in. So I went in. I was a deckhand and everything else. I became a quartermaster. And I got rating. I got a third class, which is the same as a sergeant.
Okay.
And that was it. I stayed third class till. Well, actually, I was a third class for about 2 years. That's all. The last 2 years I was in.
I was only 18 years old when I went in, too.
Yeah.
18. Whipped behind the ears and didn't know ace from the queen.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, I enjoyed being in the Navy.
Yeah.
We always had a place to sleep, and we always had good food.
Yeah. Always good food.
Always good food.
No,
Plenty of it.
We didn't.
I met a guy.
Yeah,
down in
we had very good
Philadelphia.
food.
We went down to Philadelphia.
I enjoyed it
Recruiting
very
was
much.
down there. That's where they
No.
got it.
And the
And
dried
another
eggs
guy
we
there,
used to
he was
get.
from,
Well, I don't know.
The
I
powdered
guess we
milk.
had them.
Blooms came up.
Yeah,
from-
powdered milk.
Yeah.
As long as it was cold, it wasn't bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
No, it was
crazy.
good, yeah.
He went to Panama all night.
Well, of course, coffee's
Well, we
always
went through
on.
the
Coffee
In
was
the
on.
Navy, coffee's on all the time. You can get at 2
never
o'clock in the
had
morning, go to
anything.
galley, and you get yourself a cup of coffee.
We used to
Never
make
had a
our own
problem.
ice cream.
Ice cream, yep, same thing.
We made our own.
Yeah, oh, you mean something, out of.
Well, yeah,
All we did was took the chocolate out of the C rations or the K
Okay.
rations and got snow and mixed it all together. And my grandkids even today still do that.
Yeah.
Yep. Wintertime.
Well, we had an ice cream machine on board.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, we had a regular Gidong stand.
Yeah.
Gidong's
shit,
on a
maybe
battle.
he had all the.
And ask each of you to comment on do you think it was right for your country to ask you to make some of the sacrifices that you made or could have made? Do you think it was right for the country to ask you to do that?
I love my country and I love the flag. And I'm glad that I had the opportunity to go and serve my country.
Well, I guess when we were young, it didn't.
Matter
We weren't
much.
so much concerned about that.
Mm.
We went, we did what we had to do, and times were dangerous. We were fortunate. We got through. As you look back over it, it was a real learning experience, and it was great. It was a great time for the fact that we had part in saving the country. And
Yeah.
today, you don't hear much of that anymore. They're trying to make everything look bad.
Oh, yeah.
I like to protect my country as much as I can, and unfortunately, the media and the left wing don't have much time for people like ourselves.
Yeah. No.
It was great for me to serve. I was drafted into the service but I thank God that He brought me through it, and to be an American, I'm grateful for our heritage here and for the freedom that we have and for the love of country and flag. I just love America, and it's only by God's grace that I'm here.
Of course, I had 3 years in the National Guard, and we were inducted into federal service then on February the 17th of 1941. So I knew what I was getting into, but I was glad to go. I was never sorry that I did go, and I was just glad that I could help in some small way to protect the country. And the main thing is I survived the Battle of the Bulge, whereas many of my friends and buddies did not. As I was saying a little bit ago, that we started out the morning of December the 16th of 1945 with 3,300 men in the regiment, and 2 days later there were 485 of us left. And thank the good Lord that I was one of them. But I still think of a lot of my other buddies that did not make it.
I had 4 years in the Navy in World War II, and after 9 battles in the Pacific, well, we were ordered to go after the Jap fleet, and they were about 400 miles away. We traveled overnight at flank speed, got to the area where the Japs were supposed to be, and they were gone. So that night I really felt as though I would give my life for my country. A naval engagement is something you don't want to see. Really, really battle. We're all here, and we're all here. Yeah. What's left over? Bunch.
Okay. Does anyone have on their mind something else you think might be worthwhile saying? And take the time to get some more captured. You've got it.
You know, I think we ought to say something for the country today, because of all the left-wing people out there that are trying to say that this wasn't worthwhile to go over there to Iraq, whether it was or not. I can't say anything about it. But as far as I can see, when I saw those planes fly into that tower, I was watching television, and I thought to myself, this is terrible. We went to World War II and Vietnam and Okinawa and different places to prevent this, and here it is, somebody entirely different coming, killing our own people in our own country. Yeah, frankly, it's terrible.
You know, the people today don't have any idea of how lucky they are to be in this country, number one. Irregardless of what the people in the government are doing, they went in there with a specific purpose to get the man. They got him. And then these people are funny because they're wrecking their own country. They blow up the oil line, which is going to give them money when the people that are these, what do you call it, the insurgents come in and blow up these oil lines in their own country. So this is supposed to help their country get along. Well, they don't seem to want their country to get along. The ones that were, fighting over there.
The thing that I think is doing a lot of damage are the politicians who are very critical of the administration. I'm not saying that the administration is right, but they think that everybody has to be 100% perfect, and they aren't. It's either black or white, and most of the time it's more black than anything. Nobody does anything right anymore, and whatever they do wrong, they pick on it and they enlarge it and make it sound bad, and that's all fodder for the Iraqis and the terrorists. They eat that up, and our own politicians are causing more problem than the Iraqis are.
Yeah, as far as the way our country looks to the rest of the world.
Right.
Sure, you bet.
Why is it that they hate us? Is it because of our freedom, or what we have here?
Yes.
The way we live, our luxurious lives, a lot of us, and they hate us.
Well, the United States has always been prosperous, and this is foreign to most of those people. They don't have enough to eat half the time.
Are they jealous?
Well, there's a lot of that, no doubt, but the politicians, they make it even worse. And the politicians are grabbing everything that they can. But I think that the United States has done so much in the countries around the world, helping them. Yeah. They're always the first ones to come forward with relief and help.
And we always help them. We're always there.
And yet they bite the hand that feeds them.
You know, the big thing, in our motto is, in God we trust. This is a big thing. The fact that the devil's in charge of the entire world, we're trying to fight him because he wants all this stuff it's his world.
Yeah, he's the
he
prince
wants
of
it
the
to
power.
be his way. And you can see how we are in this country, what the things are going on in our country. And like when God told the Israelites, if you would listen to me, follow my orders, and do this thing, I would take care of you. Well, what have we done in this country? So we have lost a lot. God's still there for us, but there are many, many people that do not. We're like Sodom and Gomorrah if you get the things going on. That's my thoughts anyway.
They have these meetings going now about 9/11, and they're bringing out all the dirt that they can find, and they think that they're God, that everybody should have known that this was going to happen. Now, I never thought anything about that, and I don't know how the president or anybody could have come up with an idea that this was going to happen. But yet he's responsible.
Yeah, they blame him, and they said he knew about it.
Yeah. And they're trying to find somebody to blame it on.
And somebody don't want to stick their neck out.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
They're a bunch of yellow bellies, as far as I'm concerned.
And there's a lot of those congressmen sitting in there. If they would serve justice on them, they'd be in jail.
That's right.
One thing I was thinking about when I served in World War II and the Korean mess, I thought that we were supposed to make the world safe for democracy. That's one reason why I went in. And now today, my grandson is back in Iraq after serving 8 months in the Marine Corps. And I just hope and pray that he comes through it unscathed.
Yeah.
Well, the Islam faith doesn't believe. They don't all believe the same. They think the ones over there, the terrorists, that they've been told that they're going to go to heaven if they take people's lives.
Yeah.
And God says that's not the way God looks at it. He wants to save people. He wants to give them life eternal. He doesn't want to take somebody's life. That's the difference between the two.
Yeah. And of course, the one word Jesus said was to love your enemies. Well, we have to do as much as we can about those people over there. We don't have to look down. Most of the Iraqis are good people. And they've said that there are Christians over in Iraq right now, and there are people that are reading the Bible over there. The thing of it is that it's the few in the background that are, like here, we have problems with the country. We have people, small little factions here and there that cause, like you said, the media causes problems. Well, this is what's going on over there.
There was one other thing I was thinking of, personal. During the Korean mess, I held a grave registration sergeant's number.
Mm-hmm.
That was my MOS.
Yeah.
And one day at Camp Atterbury, Indiana, we got a call from division headquarters that one grave registration sergeant was needed in Korea. And there were only 3 in the entire division. And the one guy wasn't qualified to go overseas, so that left me and the other guy.
Yeah.
And fortunately, the Lord had his hand in that. I had had the 2 years overseas during World War II, and they took the other guy instead of me. And that's often, I've often wondered,
What happened to him?
what happened to the other guy?
Right.
Did he make it back? Sometimes even in the middle of the night I'll think of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Only God knows.
And only God knows, yeah, but
Yeah.
I didn't have to go, thank goodness. That's getting pretty close.
Yeah. Well,
50-50 chance.
We have a group that meets on our ship every year, and they so you got a chance to keep track of who your buddies are. Yeah.
Maybe next January I can give you a more detailed report. If everything goes right, I wrote a letter, sent my application in yesterday. The 60th anniversary of the Battle of the Bulge is going to be held in Luxembourg and Belgium.
Oh.
And I've applied to go over as a representative of the United States for that celebration. So I don't know whether I'll get picked or not. I'm hoping to, yeah.
How about Harry Walkers? You know Harry, don't you?
No.
He was over there, same time, in Belgium.
There's a lot of guys over there in Belgium.
He got shot in the
Yeah,
knee.
he had bad knee.
Yeah. He comes. He don't come every day, but he's here a lot of Sundays. I have
Walker.
a chance to. Yeah, Walker's.
Harry.
Harry.
was here
Two
Wednesday
sons
night.
belong to our
Was he?
church.
Yeah.
They've been in our
I don't
church
know
for
him.
about
Prayer
10,
meeting.
12 years already.
He's quite a character. Harry and I went. We went over to France. We went to Belgium actually.
Oh, okay.
In the what was it, about 3, 4, I guess 5 years ago now. We went over to France, 21 of us, and we were 7 of us went over to Belgium. The rest of the guys stayed down in France. Well, he had a chance to walk up to the exact spot where he got shot.
Okay.
How about that?
Yeah, we were up near Waterloo, not too far from Waterloo.
That's where Napoleon got it, huh?
They have this big hill up there with the lion on top, you know. And he said that hill was made with weapons. All the people brought their weapons. You just put them in a pile, put them in a pile, put them in a pile, and it's supposedly loaded. The hill is about 400 or 500 feet high. You go up steps to get to the top where the lion is, and they said it's all weapons from World War II. Actually, from earlier than that. I think World War I they started that hill, but it's and the lion looks toward the area where, like, Napoleon was over. That's where he had his battle in Waterloo. But the lion looks in that direction toward France. Yeah.
I'm hoping to find some of my money that are buried in Bastogne today that I left there. Yeah.
Well, you
Buried treasure.
Were you there when the general
Dwight.
said,
Dwight Walkers? You know Dwight, don't you?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, well,
Dwight,
that's his father.
That's his father.
Oh, Welkers.
Walker?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you said Walker.
Oh no.
I thought we were on his.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Dwight. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
He and I are the only Dwights around.
Yeah.
see you guys. Take care.
Okay.
Thank you so much for